Well, the Green New Deal is not the only piece of legislation the Democratic Party is now pushing in its effort to take over the United States economy and your personal life. Democrats are also promoting a bill to take over health care. It's called the Medicare for All bill. Has over 100 co-sponsors in the House. That's a lot, if you want perspective. The bill, among other things, would ban private health insurance. So to paraphrase President Obama, if you like your plan, you definitely will not be able to keep your plan. The projected price tag for this? Well, no one really knows. Here's one estimate, $32 trillion over the next decade, but cost is no object, as they often tell us. Chris Hahn is a radio host, a former staffer to Senator Chuck Schumer, and he joins us tonight. Chris, there's so many questions here. Thank you, by the way, for coming on. I know that you support single payer.
Anytime.
Lots of people do. Lots of polls show that Americans want guaranteed health care. So it's not even a question of whether that's popular. It is. The question is how to get to it. And I wonder, how can you sell a bill that makes it illegal for most people to pay doctors out of their own pocket if they want to? That's kind of a little fascist, is it not?
You know, I don't think there's any bills out there that have any serious chances of passing that would not allow people with their own money to do whatever they want with it with their doctors.
Well, how about this bill that has hold on. Let's discuss the bill that's right there in the House. It's going to have 160 co-sponsors. Right. It's not some fringe thing by Cynthia McKinney or whatever. This is like a real thing. Over 100 Democrats, and it would not allow private contracts between citizens and physicians. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't believe that would actually be the final bill that would ever pass. But I do support Medicare for all. And I think that the American people would like to see all Americans covered. And whatever the Democrats propose, Republicans are going to call it socialism, just like they did with Obamacare.
But I'm not doing that. I'm taking I'm anti-slogan. I don't want to throw slogans around. I want to assess the meat of the legislation pending in the House of Representatives tonight, again, that has overwhelming support from your party. So that legislation, as noted 2 times previously, would ban private contracts between citizens and physicians. It would also pay for abortion. Now, you're going to tell me most Americans support Roe v. Wade. Do most Americans support using federal dollars to pay for abortion up to birth? I don't think they do. Not even close.
No.
So why include that?
And again, like I've said before, you know, there used to be a time in America where we had a legislative process where people would propose things and people who had different ideas would propose other things. We would meet in the middle. Now people propose things and then people just say that's socialism, that's about abortion, that's bad, that's evil. I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you are. But the conversation you had in your first segment is very similar to what happens when people propose legislation in America today. Okay. It becomes a good versus evil batter instead of discussing the merits of the policy and trying to amend it to get to a place where all Americans can be happy.
This is the most flammable straw man ever constructed. I'm trying to do what you lament isn't done any longer, which is assess the actual details of an actual piece of legislation that would force taxpayers to pay for abortion up to birth. There's no large group of Americans that wants that. Why? You'd have to be a freaking lunatic ideologue to put that in a piece of legislation. Why are they doing that?
You would also have to repeal the Hyde Amendment and do some other things before that would actually
why would you
be
even
legal
put that in a
under
bill?
Our laws in the country. Because if you're pro-choice and you're writing the bill, you would add things that support your position. And people who are anti-choice would then try to amend that bill to get to a compromise to bring 300 members instead of 230 members supporting a bill, which is all we've passed bills on in the House of Representatives the last couple of years. Used to be in America that you would get Republicans and Democrats supporting a bill. People who are of like minds, they want to solve a problem. Nobody wants to solve problems in America anymore.
Then maybe you should write bills that aren't riddled with total fringe positions that only crazy people support.
I mean, maybe somebody should say, you know what? Okay. Or maybe people on the other side would say, take that out of the bill and I'll support it. And then we'll have a good conversation about how we bring health care to all Americans.
Yeah, well, obviously, if you write a bill like this, you're not interested
and we could spend less money on health care in this country. We spend 16% of our GDP on health care. The average other country does 9%.
I've heard the talking points. Anyone who writes a piece of garbage like this is not interested in solving the problem. I think we can both agree on that. Chris Hahn, thank you very much.
No.
Good to see you.
Thank you.